Welcome back to Seen It Before. Well, we're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I've said this way too many times. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan, the boy who lived, come to die.
Well, no, like James is the one with he's got the scar on.
I know.
Now.
We're not there yet. We're not at James. We didn't even introduce him yet.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
well, now we just did.
We're really freeballing this one.
Yeah.
He's the only one that dressed up for us. James, our illustrious guest who has joined us on these 4 episodes.
Got his Ravenclaw robe.
Yeah, just look at the lengths he went for us here. This is amazing.
The most I did.
I bought this robe. I'm billing it to you guys, right? You cover expenses.
What?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. We live in Europe now.
Well, this is our final episode in our 4-part series. Four-part series.
There's 4 ports on my computer.
Of Harry Potter. We got Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. Yeah, and I think we've done enough bullshitting around here, so let's just get right to it.
I'm Danny. So we all watched Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. We definitely did all of our homework on this one.
Well, some of us did. Anyway, so Deathly Hallows Part 1. It's like a lot of setup.
It's a movie.
It's a lot of setup for the finale and everything that happens in that.
See, how I describe this movie is more of like it's a... Hold on, I gotta turn off low battery mode because it keeps turning off on me. I describe this one as like Fellowship of the Ring kind of thing. It's just kind of like a road trip movie. It's all about character development, and it's like getting to like deep, dark, like what, like because we haven't been because you couldn't like explore like these dark like emotions and like how everyone's like feeling when they were kids. Like this is like their lowest point, right?
Yeah.
So
and since David Yates took over with Order of the Phoenix, it's just gotten progressively darker and darker and darker, and I love it.
Well, yeah, the opening scene is Voldemort torturing a Muggle. So like, or is it a teacher? I forget if it's a.
Well, I mean,
that's actually not the opening scene,
but
she is a Muggle lover.
Oh, okay. So
she's not a teacher. This isn't Bones. Whatever Bones. She's some person.
Okay.
Unimportant. She dies right away.
And
or maybe she is a teacher. Yeah, no, she's a teacher. Yeah, that's right. She's the Muggle Studies teacher.
Well,
right. Yeah.
Well, that's not the opening. The opening starts with like a montage of like Hermione fucking wiping her parents' memory. And everything.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
That was.
It actually starts with a intimidating as hell message from Rufus Scrimgeour, aka Bill Nighy.
Oh, I knew it was somebody that I recognized. I'm like,
yeah.
He's actually has hair though, instead of like. You know, I always know him as the Victor from the Underworld series. He's like the evil. James, do you know anything about that?
No, I know him from Love Actually.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's in that. I know him also from Shaun of the Dead, where he plays the dad, where they hit him with the shovel a bunch of times.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
like, knock out dad, and then we'll be on our way. Yeah, but So I like that. Like, there's still sort of a good minister of magic. Like
he dies right away.
Yeah, I know. He gets replaced by like a puppet, like minister halfway through the movie. But it's good that it's like a little bit like he's like they're still trying to do good.
Still hope.
Yeah, and then it's dashed really quickly.
It's dashed pretty quick.
Yeah, but I like the whole Hermione wiping everyone's memories because like it's her family is like she's really choosing her wizard family over her actual family now. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like more of a significant thing because we don't really get to see into the mind of Harry or Hermione and Ron too often. And that's kind of like saying a lot. Like, because she's like really taking the jump,
Yeah, these two both get a lot of screen time and a lot of development in these 2 movies. And
yeah,
for the most part, it's all really well done. I have no complaints. Complaints. I can't pronounce my words today.
I think this is one of the examples of something the movie does better than the books. Is Hedwig's death. Mm-hmm. Hedwig's death, I think, was well done, poetic, but not derails from the plot too much or what's going on. Whereas in the book, it's like almost like a second thought. Like it's not given any mention. It's just she's in a cage in the book and just dies in the cage. She just takes a shot and
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes me sad.
Just dies.
So there's my old roommate. He had a bird that that we would have to watch, or like he told us not to feed him like when he's gone, but he would always go to like Lake Placid or something for like a couple weeks, and like so we just kind of took the bird as like an afterthought, and then one day it wasn't chirping and it was just dead in the cage.
Bro, you killed the fucking bird?
I'm like, if he told us like no, I thought he like, because he worked nights, so that he would come home in the middle of the night. I thought he would feed him then. So like, but like, yeah, he died.
My bird.
So bad. My bird. I want my bird.
My bird.
Yeah. But it's almost like in the movie though that Hedwig and Moody's like sacrifices, they got switched because like I didn't read the books, but Moody's is almost like an afterthought in the movie. They're just like, Moody died.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, really.
You know.
True.
Yeah,
because like, he's such a cool character.
Pretty similar in the book where it's just shit. What's his face? The oh my god, what's his name?
Fenrir.
No, the douchey guy. Mundungus Fletcher.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
Mundungus.
It's the same where he just dips out and leaves and
Peace.
lets Moody die.
Well, actually, that makes more sense in the movie because he's the guy who steals the locket.
Yeah.
The whole locket
Yes.
Horcrux. Which, by the way, what a kind of like a cuck of an ending, like for like the sixth one, because we do all this shit to get this fucking fake locket, and like Dumbledore almost dies, and that makes it more dramatic that he actually dies later on, and then it's not even the real thing. Like, come on, man, they worked so hard for that, and then like Michael Gambon, like he gave us all in that scene, man, all for nothing.
All for nothing.
Yeah, all for nothing.
But yeah, like I like this movie the more. Okay, so I have a love-hate relationship with this movie because it's like it's so slow and so dramatic and so serious, but at the same time it's kind of goofy. Because like especially when like the scene you were talking about, Dan, with when they go to the ministry and they impersonate, that's so goofy. And they're like, oh, and plus like a lot of polydose potion scenes in this because they all pretend to be Harry to get away from the Death Eaters and stuff.
And then in the next movie they do Bellatrix, and we'll get to that later. But
That's the next movie?
yeah,
Oh yeah, it is the next movie. Wow, they really pulled that trick like 3 times in this book.
yep.
Oh, okay. That's a little.
Yeah. So they get to the Weasley's house, right? That's
Yep,
what end
they
up
go to
with?
the burrow,
And
which
then-
is inexplicably returned back from being on fire and burned
Yep.
down to the ground.
Yeah, that's my note I had. I was like, oh, somehow this is back together.
Yeah, you know what? I
Yeah.
never thought about that because I always skip this one whenever I'm watching because it's like it's all about the character development and like I already know these characters. I want to just skip right to the action. So yeah, so like I completely forgot that detail.
Yeah, and isn't it Fred gets injured? Or is it Fred or is it George that gets injured?
It is George that
It
gets
is George. Okay.
Yeah, George gets injured.
I
Yes.
can't tell them apart. They're too good at being the same person.
Yeah. Basically, Ron's had enough at that point and wants to kill anything, and he doesn't care.
Yeah, which so this is more. I think of this more as Ron's movie.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways because his like how we were talking about in Goblet of Fire, his kind of bubbling over of like I'm jealous of Harry. This gets amplified in this one because he's like I'm losing everything. Harry didn't really have anything to begin with, so he's like sort of just on level 1 the entire time with like his anger. But Ron, he's like witnessing everything that in his life fall apart.
It's especially prevalent when he starts wearing the locket around his neck.
Yeah, that amplifies it even more.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like you can really see like the jealousy, like so now we're getting into like the romance between Ron and Hermione and his kind of like possession over her, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Where he's like, it's like Harry's talking, just joking with her, and he's like thinking in his head like that's my girl, you know. And I know that like I've hated her the entire series, and I've said that I didn't want nothing to do with her, but like that's my girl, and so I like and I don't like because at the end of the day it doesn't mean anything, but I do like the kind of like battling between different emotions in this movie and like how Ron is super jealous the entire time.
Ron, there's a random scene in this next where they have a wedding randomly.
Yeah, Bill Weasley has a wedding.
Yep.
Okay, it's very spontaneous, I would say.
Yeah.
And then it gets attacked, and then people start dying, and then it's like, oh, chaos. Love it.
Yeah, I like how they. Or sorry, you go, James.
I was just going to say, in the books, Harry did not attend the wedding, or at least he did not attend the wedding as Harry.
Oh.
He used no, I don't think he used polyjuice. He used like charms to like change his hair color and stuff. Like not too much, I think, is what they did. But either way, he pretended to be a Weasley cousin. Yeah.
Gross. It's a lot of Weasleys.
I'm glad they didn't do that for like in the movie because like Daniel Radcliffe with red hair would look really weird.
Daniel Radcliffe with any other hair color would look really weird.
Like he'd look like KJ Apa. Like KJ Apa doesn't look like a person to me. He looks like a robot, like an android. I'm not sure if anyone else gets the same effect, but like
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No.
He just looks really weird to me. That's how I think Daniel Radcliffe. I think Daniel Radcliffe looks weird too, man. Like he's super pale. You know, I just realized that. Kind of like how Matt Smith looks like a Sphinx cat. Like Daniel Radcliffe's like really pale.
I can see the Sphinx cat thing.
Yeah, I brought it up on the Last Night in Soho podcast.
I don't remember that. And
so
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to add, after this wedding scene, once it gets attacked and crashed, that's when Harry, Ron, and Hermione go on their journey. In the books, a thing that I really like that was mentioned during this like decision to go off and chase the Horcruxes, Remus Lupin, he wanted to join them. He came to Harry about this and wanted to join them. And Harry yelled at him and said no. And the reason being, Tonks, his girlfriend, is pregnant with their child in the book. It is not explored at all in the movie and makes their ending a lot more tragic. But yeah, Lupin wanted to go with them, and Harry was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're not abandoning your child, you asshole. Go be a man and be with your girl." He didn't want to raise the kid because he was worried about his werewolf blood.
Fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I could not take you seriously that whole time because I was looking at weird Voldemort above your head.
Yeah, I that popped up halfway through my thought, and I very nearly lost it, but I tried to keep going.
Yeah, I lost. I lost it like right after you started. I was like, oh my god. I'm trying to focus on like Lupin, werewolf. Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
love of his life. Okay.
But that's so sad though, man. And also like I like how it adds kind of like the dimension. Like the reason I like Sirius a lot as a character is because it's not because I said this in the last one or the two ones ago. He's not a genuinely like good like father figure. He's not the best pick, and that's what in Lupin. You know, you think in like Harry's eyes, he's the best like teacher, the best mentor. Like he's one of the best, right? But he's not. He's actually kind of a little bit of a coward in that sense. And then, you know, like Harry has to set him straight. So like, kind of like a big moment for Harry in that moment in the, like, don't meet your heroes kind of thing where like you look up to these people and they're not exactly, they're human, you know? So I like that. I like that J.K. Rowling was like, she can add flaws. And I think that's what makes good characters. You always have to like, that's why like Jaime Lannister's like, you cripple him, you know, and now he's like, so then he's more like endearing. In that sense, so
you say that as if I know what the fuck Game of Thrones is about.
I think you dipped out right around that episode where he gets his hand cut off, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How
do you?
Spoiler alert! God.
How do you dip out of that? Like the show is so amazing, and then it's good for one more season, and then don't go the rest of the way for the show.
See, I'm good.
House of the Dragon's doing okay. It's only been one episode as of recording.
It's doing okay.
It's doing okay.
Episode.
They nailed the pilot. It's pretty good. It's solid. You know. It's promising. Whatever.
What's the next scene? So they're on their adventure now. Or is the Ministry next? Or is that
the Ministry is next? Yeah. They escape the wedding after it gets attacked. And then soon after is when they go into the Ministry, yes.
Yeah, so basically the whole thing of the Ministry is they see, I see fucking Umbridge. Oh my god, that bitch.
She's awful. But also a great character. I hate her. I love
the fact that her personality does not seem to have changed whatsoever after wearing the locket for who knows how long.
Yeah.
So she's just like that.
She's just a bitch.
She's just like that.
So you've always been this way.
Can't make what's already awful any worse.
Yeah. She's telling everyone to do their owls.
Owls.
WLs.
Oh god. Stop that.
Nailed it, dude.
Thank you.
I don't like that at all. Okay, so moving on to where are
Oh
we?
yeah, I just want to point out with the Ministry of Magic scene, I thought those actors did so well portraying Harry, Hermione, and Ron. It's hard to remember that these are not the actual actors playing these characters. They are random people that came on set and are acting as the trio.
Yeah.
It is. It's really. I didn't think about that, and we'll talk about in the next one. Read a meme where it was just like, Emma Watson taught Helena Bonham Carter, to play Hermione, to play Bellatrix, to play Hermione.
Yep.
And it was like Inception on like 3 different levels of like acting. And I think it was a very well done scene in the whole thing. So
Yeah, no, they are very believable as the trio.
I think my absolute favorite from that whole was just when Runcorn, the guy that Harry is pretending to be, he's talking to Hermione's character, I forget her name, and they're talking about how they need to find Umbridge as soon as possible. And they're in the elevator, and then all of a sudden the elevator door opens, and there she is, and his face, the guy that plays Runcorn, it just is so funny. It just drops like.
He's like, oh.
Shit.
I just remember Ron having like a super derp face running out once, like when they, for some reason they're wet or something. I forgot the reason why.
Yeah, he had to clean up the head of the Department of Magical, the cops. He had to clean the head cop's office because it was raining. It was charmed to be permanently raining.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and he was the one responsible for fixing it.
I just remember like Rupert Grint's like, oh, he's running. This is a super derp face. He's a great actor, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta even it out.
So now we're in the chamber with Umbridge talking to whoever's wife it is, one of the guys they're portraying.
The guy that plays Ron, the one that Ron is playing, I forget his name as well. I just remember Runcorn.
His wife is being like interrogated or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Harry's character just like, pew.
He's like, well, fuck this. I see the locket. Let's just go for it, boys. And doesn't tell anyone else what he's doing until he's doing it.
Because he's the main
Typical
character.
Harry style. Yes, he's the main character.
Harry Styles.
Oh, yes.
We're just talking about, yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. But yeah, that's what I said. Get fucked, Umbridge.
Yeah. Yeah, he like stupefies her, right?
Yeah, it's one of those, like...
He stupefies her, yes.
He does stupefy her, okay.
Yeah.
Mary.
And then he turns back into Ron, and then it's really awkward for a couple seconds.
But yeah, they get out of there pretty quickly, and then they're on an adventure in the forest for like 6 months. So,
Yes, which is like basically the heart of the movie.
Yeah.
And not a lot happens. It's just them walking, Ron with his fucking radio, wearing the locket with a sling. So he's in just constant pain and discomfort. And I don't know about you, the radio thing really pissed me off in the movie. So like I felt what they were feeling, you know?
The radio thing.
He's just like listening to the radio, like just like a police scanner.
Dying, yeah.
Yeah. So like it makes like it really, however they directed it, it was like it got me into it, you know?
Yeah. But then while they're going, like this whole thing dives into Harry and Hermione's relationship really well.
Yeah.
And just shows how good friends they are. And it's not in a romantic way. They're just really good friends.
Yeah.
And Ron, being under the spell of that spell, he's like, nah. And
I mean, from
out.
the outside looking in, if you didn't know anything about these characters, you might assume.
I mean, they're dancing at one point, like
Yeah.
slow dancing, like, huh, that's okay.
Which was not in the books, if I'm correct, right, James? Like the
Sorry,
dancing
I was
scene?
trying to find something. What was this?
The dancing scene?
The dancing scene, correct, was not in the books. That was something made for the movies.
I thought that was a great kind of like understanding of the characters to do that, to build upon what J.K. wrote. Like, it's perfectly encapsulates what you're saying, Dan, their relationship. Yeah. So, 5 stars for that scene.
I mean, these characters have come a long way, and even the people portraying the characters have come a long way, and they've been with each other since the beginning. So, like, it just kind of makes sense that, like, this is, like, part 1 of Goodbye, and it's like, oh.
Even though none of them say goodbye.
What I was pulling up here is this is the book. This is the Deathly Hallows book for those that can see, and it's very overblown. I'm sorry. This right here, this is like, the white pages is not great. But
there you go.
All that is camping.
Oh, wow.
That's like
this is from the first camping to Gringotts.
that's like a good half the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say like a third, but yes.
Third? Okay.
It's a lot of the book.
It is.
And like, well, that's you almost you I don't know. It's something that's like cool to see. I don't want to rewatch or reread that.
I don't want to read it
because like, once you I don't want to read. But yeah, it's very much like something that like you feel like needs to happen, needs to be explored once. And then it's just unfortunate that that's such a big part of these movies and that book that like kind of brings it down a little bit, you know? It's hard to explain.
Then they go to Godric's Hollow. So at one point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And see Harry's parents' grave, and that was a nice
Very
scene.
touching.
Very touching scene.
Yeah.
And then Dumbledore's sister? No,
Brother. No, he talks about their sister.
Talks. No. Who was it? A woman that was there, or was it a man? I don't remember.
At Godric's Hollow, you're talking about Mathilda Bagshot.
Mathilda Bagshot. That's her name.
She's not related to the Dumbledores. However, she's a family friend of the Dumbledores.
That's her name.
Oh, okay.
She's also the author of it's one of the magic history books. I don't remember which one, but she one of the freshman year history books. I think it might even be Hogwarts of history. Either way, she's a historian, a wizard historian.
So she takes him and does a little more plot setup and everything, and talks about Grindelwald a little bit, aka Vecna. So that was
that's true.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
which is so. I want to kind of rant about Fantastic Beasts. We know where Grindelwald's going to end up. He ends up in Azkaban forever. So like, in a way, a lot of the Fantastic Beasts series is like, we know where we're going. You're not doing much to really keep me interested in the meantime. Like, not a lot of twists and turns. He's just kind of like, oh, he does this time, and he does this other time.
Yeah, funnily enough, I just started watching Better Call Saul. Actually, Dan has too. And I feel the same way about that with Saul Goodman, because like we know this is a prequel to Breaking Bad. I mean, I'm only on season 1. I don't know where it goes from here. And I'm not saying it's bad, but it definitely removes the stakes from any scenes that he's in when I know he can't die. But I think they do a good job of building that tension with the rest of the cast, because I don't know these people.
I'll say this, though. They only do that kind of like fake out death thing once in the entire series. And there's another story after Breaking Bad with him.
All right. So after
You guys are going to love that show. All right.
All right. After they leave Godric's Hollow and do all that, whatever information dump they got, they're back in the forest. Ron. Oh, no, not Ron. So Harry goes off and just kind of like fucks off because he sees a Patronus. And,
oh, yeah. Ron at this point is away from, he runs away. He's like, fuck everybody.
He bitch boyed out a while ago. So Harry sees the, what sword is it? The Chamber of Secret Sword? Whatever it's called. The
Sword of Gryffindor. Gryffindor's sword.
Godric's, yeah. So he sees that at the bottom of this frozen river. Or pond, whatever you want to call it.
It's
ooh, I have to get in there, and almost fucking dies.
Yeah.
Until Ron saves him. So that was kind of cool. Ron was still around.
But not before, so he rescues him from the pond.
Yes.
From drowning. And then we get a spicy scene that I at that time was very much talked about.
Yup.
By like all the tabloids and stuff. Like, we get to see Harry's butt, and like Harry and Hermione look like they're kind of doing it in like the black smoke once they open up the Horcrux.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah. And then I think it was Ron he's the one who smashes it with the sword, right?
Ron gives the official last blow. Fun fact, every character, not every character, but a different person destroys each of the Horcruxes.
Yep.
No person destroys 2 Horcruxes. Harry himself only destroys 1, and that's the diary in Chamber of Secrets.
Yep.
Because he doesn't kill or destroy any. Yeah, he doesn't destroy any Horcruxes.
So
in these 2 movies.
Harry does the diary.
Yep.
Voldemort does Harry.
Yes.
Ron does the locket.
Neville does the snake.
Yes.
Neville does the snake.
Hermione does the cup.
Yep.
Hermione does the cup. Who
That's
does the
down
tiara?
in the Chamber of Secrets. The tiara is destroyed by Crabbe when he burns down the Room of Requirement.
Right. And then what's the 7th one? Oh, Voldemort.
The
he kills
last
Harry, though.
one. Sorry,
Harry kills Voldemort at the end, right?
Well, you're missing one. There's 8 total. Voldemort would be the 8th.
Okay. Who's...
Wait, so we have diary, cup. Oh, the ring. Dumbledore destroyed the ring on his own. And that's why he had the black hand. That was in Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, wow, that's interesting.
The gang's back together now, and then they go and see Luna's father.
Yes, Xenophilius.
Where we get a... Wait, his name is Xenophilia?
Xenophilius.
Oh, okay.
With an S at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like he's got like a predilection for aliens.
Anyway.
Yes, he does. He loves them.
And so he does this whole info dump on the Deathly Hallows story.
Which I'm a sucker for backstory and interesting exposition. Like
Dude,
that.
I love the way they did that whole thing.
Especially when it's animated.
Yeah. And I remember hearing something where there 3 characters represent each 3 of the brothers, right? I think it's Harry, Dumbledore, and Snape. They all represent different ones, right? Yeah. Harry is the resurrection because he greets death like an old friend, right?
He's the invisibility cloak because he's the owner and inheritant of the invisibility cloak.
You're right.
Okay, Harry's the invisibility
He's a direct
cloak.
descendant of the brother from the story. That's in the books.
Okay.
So Dumbledore is the
Elder Wand.
Yes.
And then Snape is the Resurrection Stone.
Yeah, his obsession with the dead.
Yep.
Lily and all that.
That one's a little tenuous, but I'll take it.
It makes sense. And if you think about it enough, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was I love that scene. It's probably one of the better scenes in the movie. And they have a chase through the forest.
Which is probably my favorite action scene out of any of these movies.
The forest scene?
I love the sound design. I love the tracking shots with them running through the forest. It's silent. It's just you hear the wands going off, the heavy breathing, and the sticks breaking. And that's all you hear. And it's just like Hermione almost gets shot a couple times. And I was riveted.
Reminds me a lot of Logan.
Yeah, it's a little bit like Logan, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of reminds me of the same kind of technique they used in Half-Blood Prince when Harry, right after or right before the Weasley house gets burned down, he runs right into the cornfield, and then he kind of takes a moment, and it's just silent, and then you hear heavy breathing and stuff. So I like that kind of sound design that they were able to do in that.
Yeah.
And
then Hermione fucks up Harry's face. That's hilarious.
Right, because she's scared because they're going to get captured by the Malfoys.
Yep.
And then I'm genuinely confused on does Malfoy not recognize him?
I think he knows.
For real?
No, I think he knows.
I feel it. Yeah.
Malfoy recognizes. Yeah.
Okay, so what at that point was motivating him to not kill Harry? Because I don't think
he's not fully all the way in.
Draco is terrified and just trying not to die at this point.
I don't think any of them are fully invested. Any of the Malfoys.
I mean, really, it was just Lucius. He's the only reason they are Death Eaters to begin with. Yeah. But yeah, especially now that he's not in the good graces of Voldemort anymore. They're definitely not as loyal or respecting of him, while still fearing the hell out of him. They do not want to piss him off.
So they're so he's kind of hedging the bets by being if I die from Voldemort, at least I'll have a fighting chance with Harry in the meantime. So Lucius, why is Lucius not in the good graces? Is it because he got fucked up in Order of the Phoenix or something like that? Or
there's multiple mistakes that he's made in the past. The first one was the fucking up of the diary. That was his responsibility to get it to Ginny and make sure it like overtook them, and that's how he's supposed to come back, but it got foiled, and Voldemort blamed the Malfoys for that. And then in addition, there's just been other mistakes that he's made along the way. Mistakes, according to Voldemort, that have caused them to not be as loved by them. And also, Voldemort's fully taking advantage of them by, renting out their house for Death Eater stuff and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and then Draco failed to kill Dumbledore, and then Snape had to do it. Which Snape is. We'll get to him in the next movie, but like one of my favorite characters.
Reel it in.
But like then I consider the next movie his movie.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think it's interesting that Malfoy is like kind of like playing both sides right now, and then like and somebody's got to explain to me later on how exactly the Elder Wand, who the owner is.
We'll get
I'm
to
very
that.
confused on that too.
We'll get to that.
All right.
Okay, so let's talk about Dobby first.
Dobby, no.
Yeah, we have to talk about it.
He got fucked up.
We saw him first earlier in the movie. We didn't talk about it. I was like, oh, Dobby. Oh, wait, no. I was like, oh, shit. This is coming later in the movie. But yeah, no, Dobby saves them all from Voldemort coming to the mansion or whatever the hell they're in. And teleports them all away, but not before getting stabbed. Like a dagger thrown right into the portal or whatever the hell it is that they...
Yeah, like the apparition thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a good... And then he has like some triumphant like line. He's like, Dobby's a free elf.
Dobby is a free elf.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is what is written on his grave.
No, it's what it
Dobby's
says.
line is, Dobby is happy to be with friends.
And Dobby is a free elf. He says that too.
No, like he says it to
Does he?
Bellatrix
He
like
sa-
right
he
right
says
before they
it.
apparate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
but not as he's dying.
No,
Oh,
as he
yeah,
dies,
yeah,
Dobby's like happy to be with friends. Like that.
Oh, yeah. We know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Such a
that's the final
heartbreaking
one.
Gosh, I thought you were talking about that one.
No.
Anyway, I already went on a rant about this a while ago, and it's a TikTok, so check it out. But Dobby's, I never thought I cared that much about Dobby, and it's like really interesting to see that come full circle in this movie.
Yeah. Like, he's much more prevalent in the books, as James
Yes.
will probably tell you. But I think he still should have been in some of these other movies, honestly. At least just to show up for half a second and say something stupid or like just be Dobby.
Well, like kind of like a Maz Kanata type.
Yeah, just be there, more present.
But like, I know in the 4th and 5th, he's just like a background character that pops up a few times.
He's what Jar Jar Binks should have been.
Unpopular opinion. I think Jar Jar was utilized in a good way after the first one.
I mean, yeah, he's also
Yeah.
in Clone Wars too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Clone Wars is still fucking annoying. He can't,
Yeah.
He's still
can't,
there.
He can't be the main character.
No.
He just can't. It doesn't work.
but yeah,
There was some Clone Wars episode, I think, that was like all Gungans or something, and I like 5 minutes in, I just skipped it. I couldn't
I'm
watch
done.
it. I was tired of it.
all right. So back to the movie. They end up burying Dobby, or saying they want to bury Dobby, and Voldemort gets the Elder Wand. That's the end of the movie. So
Yep.
Right. And then they replay. I thought it was really weird. They replay that scene of him getting the Elder Wand in the
fine.
opening of the second one. I'm just like,
but it mixes with the theme of how they've been doing those montages. Like they kind of kept the theme the same for the first and the second part.
I
I didn't like it either.
I'm just not a fan of like them repeating full scenes, like because that's the most annoying part of like watching Halloween 2, because they just do the last 20 minutes of the first movie, and then they only have an hour of content for the rest of the movie. So I don't know.
All right. Well, basically, this first part starts off with Hermione becoming Bellatrix for part 2. That's where we
Yeah.
are now. So they get to
Gringotts
Bank. Yeah, and good morning. Oh wait, I'm not myself.
Yeah, it's just like good evening,
And there's
Mike Wazowski.
no, the other people are just like, is that Bellatrix?
Yeah, it's like, oh, is she in a good mood today? That's weird.
Fucking weird. This also reminded me of when they actually get into the bank and start going through the tunnels and everything. Is that like an actual Universal ride? Because that sounds really fucking cool.
It does look cool, yeah.
It's not a
It
Universal?
should be.
I don't
Should
know.
make
I
it
have no
that way.
clue.
I feel like there is like a train car ride. I feel like I've seen it.
I know
Did it used to be
there's the
a Spider-Man?
Hagrid motorcycle.
Okay,
That was a big thing.
I knew that's a thing.
Yeah. I have no clue. I've never been
Well-
to Universal.
I know, but I just made. Is it like you would have heard of it or something? All right.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So they go through the tunnels and everything, and they find a dragon. So
Yeah.
That's cool.
Basically, it's getting treated poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor dragon.
This whole beginning part is just the wrapping up the fun and games, I guess, of however fun the first one is.
Yeah. I wouldn't really call that fun.
It's
games,
just
but all
another
right.
quest. Like they have to go to get the fucking the cup, right?
Yeah, they went to go get the cup, which
then
is one of the Horcruxes.
And then it has like a duplicating
Oh my
hex
God,
on it or
yeah.
something, which is really annoying to watch.
Fucking wild.
I feel bad for the janitors. Like I could clean that up. You know? Also, they get portrayed by Warwick Davis,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
plays the goblin.
Yeah.
Goblin.
Yeah, one of
Yes,
the goblins.
Goblin.
We had the name of the curse is the Gemino curse. That's the thing that multiplies them all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's
Gemino, yeah.
it's Gemino. Yeah.
Gemino. Yeah.
Kinda like Gemini,
yeah, he
weird.
plays
Yeah.
I believe he plays in this Grip Hook, which is the goblin that he's been with them. He's the one that wants the sword afterwards. He was in the first movie as well, but he did not play Grip Hook. He played a different goblin.
Well,
So I
Warwick
thought
Davis.
that was interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, Warwick Davis.
Yeah, I know he played Professor Flitwick. Both
Yes.
iterations of him.
Yes, and I'm fairly positive he was also a goblin
Oh, that's cool.
in the first one. Yeah.
So they escape or they end up escaping on the dragon.
Yeah, and then they get dropped in the lake, and then we get like
Harry freaking out a little bit.
Yeah.
Having a moment.
yeah. So like, makes me wonder.
I lied. He did do the voice of Grip Hook in the first one, but he did not play Grip Hook, just voiced him, I guess.
Okay.
And then also was credited as Goblin Bank Teller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So,
Is Voldemort just like just super powerful? Because he does this in Order of the Phoenix. He can just get in everyone's head and start just like talking to them. I just thought it was like the connection between him and Harry.
Yeah,
That's what did it.
Well,
But
yeah, that is mostly what does it, unless like he can do it, I guess, for Hogwarts or whatever that whole thing is at the end of the movie. But yeah, no, him and
for
Harry. That's just for
Hogwarts,
Harry.
I believed he used the spell. I'm trying to remember the exact name of it, but they used it in Goblet of Fire, the one that makes your voice really loud.
oh, they hold up their wand to their throat and then
Yeah, I think he just like echoed his voice. Like it wasn't in their heads. It was just
like a loudspeaker.
echoed throughout the building. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a loudspeaker, the PA system. But then Harry's is just to him.
Yeah,
I believe is
you
how it
know,
happens.
Horcrux. So
Yeah,
okay, yeah, because they do it in where he's like everyone, you must surrender or
Yeah.
face the consequences.
yeah.
Yeah.
So before that, though, they go to Hogsmeade Station and find Dumbledore's brother, Aberforth.
Oh, so he is in the second. Okay.
Yes.
I just don't remember seeing. And then they have a secret tunnel to Hogwarts, right? That's how they get to Hogwarts. Okay.
There's a lot of
from
secret
the
entrances there, yeah.
Hogshead Aberforth's bar. Or no, not the Hogshead, the goat something. He's a goat fucker in the books.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not actually a goat fucker, but he in the books is like shunned from the magical community for unspeakable acts against goats. And like a lot of people think he fucks goats.
He's a goat fucker,
mean,
or
he
he's a
could-
goat satanic killer.
He could just be like, like the Northmen, like just like gut them and like skin them and like display them really grossly.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get off that topic. Let's talk.
Dumbledore's family's fucked, bro.
Let's talk about his
I
family.
would actually. Sorry, what was that,
I
Dan?
was gonna say let's talk about his family.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about his family because it is not nearly talked about enough in the movie.
Good.
His backstory, Dumbledore's. I should reference now that we're at this point. Albus and Aberforth, they had a very tragic upbringing with their sister Ariana. I wrote down a few highlights here. Ariana, as a child, about 6 years old, was beat violently by muggles because she was seen using her magic and she couldn't repeat it because she had no control over it. She was beat down and she grew like a PTSD from this. She refused to use magic. She did not use magic. And then for those that have seen Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the first one, she becomes an obscuri, which is where your magic is so repressed and it's inside you and like bursting to get out and like it's erratic and crazy and causes outbursts. She develops this, and that causes her to accidentally kill her mother when she is 14. Albus at this point has graduated from Hogwarts and Aberforth is still in school. Because of this, the father also is in Azkaban because he beat those muggle boys that abused his daughter.
Rightfully so.
What?
Rightfully so.
Yes. Ariana accidentally killed her mom. So Dumbledore heads back home to take care of her because Aberforth cannot. This is when they meet Grindelwald because he was expelled from Durmstrang for his extreme beliefs and views on magic. Then Albus Dumbledore, develops very strong anti-Muggle ideologies. He is on the same side as Grindelwald, and they want to set off into the worlds to help eradicate or put the Muggles in their place.
Sounds like Nazis.
Albus Dumbledore was like a good old Joseph Goebbels, or so whatever you want to say.
Nice.
Damn. Why isn't this the story of Fantastic Beasts? This is so much more interesting.
You know, right?
Yeah.
And then they wanted to leave. Aberforth was like, what the fuck are you doing? This is crazy. They ended up getting into a massive fight between Grindelwald, Albus, and Aberforth. All three of them are dueling back and forth each other. And in the crossfire of this fight, as Ariana's trying to break it up, she is tragically killed. And no one has any idea who delivered the final blow. They just know she died. And this is what caused the massive tension between Aberforth and Albus.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And then that's like the turning point for Albus to be like, hey, Grindelwald isn't that cool.
Yeah, that's when he realized, this maybe isn't the best.
I'm not
and eventually
a Nazi.
he
remember that
eventually he atoned or tried to atone and spent the rest of his life helping Muggles.
Dude, that's such a good story. Why isn't that the story of... Oh my god, who gives a shit about Newt Scamander?
Seriously.
Granted, that might be the plot of Secrets of Dumbledore, but I'll never fucking know.
It's not. I've seen it. It's awful. It's so bad. Okay. No, it's literally just like Grindelwald tries to rig an election, and then it doesn't work out for him. That's it.
They glow up a fucking Neville. Hell. Oh, Neville. God damn.
Neville, my boy. He's much better in the book, might I add, especially the end scene. Oh, speaking of our boy, that's him, right?
That's him, right? Yeah.
That's him. That's him. He has a very big glow up, and at the end, he has an amazing monologue against, like, speaking directly to Voldemort. That is not the same vibe in the movie.
Oh,
yeah. Well, that's like at like the crossroads when like right after Harry dies, and then
let's bring this back up when we get to that. So they sneak Harry in. Oh my God, Harry! Oh my God! Oh my God!
It's good to see you.
Yeah. And so then Snape finds out Harry's at Hogsmeade, so he summons them all to the the dining hall.
Whatever.
The Great Hall.
The Great Hall. And then Harry just comes out like, "Hey,
he's like,
boy, what's up?
You got some beef? I'll fuck you up, Snape."
Yeah.
And then he fucks him up. And then McGonagall's
how dare you stand where he stood, whatever.
McGonagall fucks him up.
Great line.
Yeah.
He's like, "Shame on you."
Yeah.
And then Snape's just like, "I can't reveal my ultimate plan just yet."
Shit.
So I'm a leave completely. Just like there's a theory out there that like he instinctive or like deliberately deflects McGonagall's at the Death Eaters because he kills both of them on accident. He deflects it. So James? What do you think? Is that like part of?
Oh yes, for sure. This was intentional. I mean, you could see the single spell. I mean, it hit both of them, and they were standing on either side of him. The Carrows. were their names. I don't remember their first names. That's how unimportant they are.
Yeah.
But
Well, they got fucked up.
yeah.
So they take back Hogwarts for the meantime.
Yes, because they had to find the Horcrux for Rowena Ravenclaw's tiara thingy.
And then they fucking they imprison every last Slytherin.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked
Yeah.
up. I was like, oh,
Like what?
okay.
Like, you know how we were talking about in the first one where like houses like cause division. Like, what if you're just some random like what? Okay, so as we know, Harry's kid turns out to be a Slytherin, but he's still good of heart. And same thing with what's his name, Scorpius. They're good kids. What if?
Yeah.
And they would theoretically get imprisoned because
I think it's worth noting that like most of their parents are Death Eaters.
most,
So like
not all.
pretty much all of them,
Well-
at least the seniors.
Well, that's fucking stupid because then that's not
I know
realistic.
Crabbe and Goyle, as well as obviously Draco's parents, are all Death Eaters, and that's like half the Slytherin senior boys.
That's fair.
I'm just saying it's a little unfair. The kids are like, I'm just here to be a school and like just trying to learn, and then this fucking dark wizard took over. Like,
Also,
where's potions class? You know?
so when they get to the room of requirement and all that stuff, how the fuck can Ron speak parcel tongue? I didn't know that.
Harry talks in
He
his sleep.
said that he heard Harry in his sleep. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty BS excuse. But
That's a
what
really
the
BS excuse.
was.
What?
I mean, but if he says the same line to open up, because it only takes one line to open up the Chamber of Secrets. So if he
Yeah.
says hasara,
Oh, it's the chamber.
You just have to say
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
parcel tongue.
I think you could figure it out. You know, like everyone knows how to say hello in Spanish, right? Harry's probably got to be saying like open in
Parcel tongue.
parcel tongue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is parcel tongue is the language? Parcel mouth is the person who speaks the language, right?
I've never heard
Yes.
of parcel mouth, but okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Like Harry is
a
mouth.
parcel mouth. He speaks parcel tongue.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That always got confusing for me.
So yeah, Ron and Hermione go to the Chamber of Secrets to get the fang thingy.
Oh yeah, the fang. Yeah, I keep forgetting like why they're doing all this shit.
Yeah. So then they get the cup. They kill that Horcrux, and then they get drenched, and they have a sexy moment.
Yeah. Oh right. Yeah.
They get drenched.
A lot of stuff happens in this movie that it's kind of like a checklist. I watched this movie for the big battles that happen in it, and the one scene that gives me chills to this day. It's such a triumphant moment for me, at least. When McGonagall opens up the statue men.
Oh, yeah.
And like the music starts. It's such a good score moment.
It
I'm just like,
is.
oh, they're
Yes.
getting ready. McGonagall's gonna fucking fuck people up, man. I'm so
Oh my god!
excited.
And
Yeah.
Maggie Smith's delivery of the line, "I've always wanted to use that
Yeah,
spell."
she's-
Yeah,
So good.
Great.
Yeah.
So good. In the books, a lot of magical creatures were involved in the fight as well. The house elves were taking part, including Dobby and Winky. Or sorry, not Dobby.
Yeah, not Dobby.
All right.
But
Creature
Winky,
and Winky?
was involved in this, and Creature as well. The Centaurs were fighting for the Hogwarts students. The Giants were fighting with the Death Eaters, like for the Death Eaters, except Grop. So you had some epic
Giant on giant.
grappling between each other and fighting. And the Acromantulas were part of it from the forest. They were also with the Death Eaters. And the Death Eaters also had vampires, which has not even been talked about in the movies whatsoever.
There's only so much CGI budget, man.
Come on.
I mean, this was the most or the highest grossing movie of the time.
Out of the time, yeah.
yeah.
But like, it was also the last movie, so they didn't need to worry about it for the next movie.
Yeah.
Just saying.
This was all revenue, baby. We're not giving that up.
Yeah.
So Harry ends up talking to the ghost of Ravenclaw or whatever her
The
name
Grey
is.
Lady.
Grey Lady, yeah.
He's like, just give me it,
And
please.
she tells him where it is after like 3 different tries.
That's
He's
Ravenclaw,
defiled
Rowena
it.
Ravenclaw's daughter, by the way.
Yes. And it's in the room
Yeah.
of requirement.
Of course it is. We're all good. We're all things that are lost are found. or some shit like that. Right?
So they go there, and then Ronnie also.
I'd like to quickly, while you're talking about the room of requirement, mention that this scene. I think I might have. I believe I did reference this in the previous episode, but in book 5, when we first see the room of requirement, it is mentioned how there is a tiara sitting there.
Oh,
that tiara is mentioned in the 5th book.
Oh, that's cool. And in Half-Blood Prince, it's all cluttered and filled with a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in the 5th one. Is that like magically like who it clears the room designed by who requires it?
The room fits the requirements needed at the time, and what you often see it as, that cluttered area, that's pretty much where you go. It's said in the book like students will hide stuff they don't want to get confiscated there. It's basically like I'm trying to think of
just like a big
analogy.
It's a dump thing.
It's a dump.
It's a dump at that point, where a bunch of lost stuff and missing items go.
So then, like it takes the requirement of a big battle with fire in this movie.
Yeah.
So like that's when it gets like really tall and the pillars and shit, and like which I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, true. And
it's called Fiend Fire. Is the spell? It's a very dark and powerful spell that should not be used.
That's my girlfriend, you numpties. Fucking Ron.
Oh right, yeah.
You wouldn't know. You didn't watch the movie.
I watched the movie. I'm just like, oh, I remember that.
Oh,
I remember it. I didn't watch it recently.
Voldemort is in like a boathouse or whatever, and he's like, "Bring me Snape."
Yeah, because he's all like, Snape gonna fucking die. Because this is when they start figuring out who is the owner of the Elder Wand.
Yes.
So Voldemort's like thinking like, well, it was Dumbledore. Then Snape killed him, so he's assuming that Snape, what's it called? Expelliarmus it out of Dumbledore's hand, which Voldemort gets wrong, and he and Draco is the one who Expelliarmuses him, right? Disarms him.
Yes.
Yes. The ownership of the wand doesn't transfer solely through disarming. If you kill the owner yourself, it also passes its loyalty on to you, the person that killed them. Okay. So it's not just disarming.
So Voldemort,
which is why Voldemort thinks Snape has control over it.
Okay, but really, Draco is technically the owner of the Elder Wand after he disarms him.
At this point, no. Harry is the true owner, because at Malfoy Manor at the end of the first one, Harry disarms Malfoy.
Right, but the thing I don't like about that is that Draco doesn't have the Elder Wand, so he didn't disarm the Elder Wand. He disarmed some random fucking guy's wand.
It's definitely
And is this the rules only for the Elder Wand?
Yes.
Okay, because there's a lot of disarming students throughout the whole entire series. Like now their wands own, And where did this come from? How did they figure that out?
The disarming thing?
Yeah. Is it part of like the exposition story that we heard, or like does Harry just know it randomly?
I will be honest, I don't remember.
Okay. Because like how does Voldemort know either? So
wait. Repeat that one more time, because I watched the movie today.
Okay.
This is not explained at all.
How do Harry and Voldemort know this mechanic?
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Snape dies at this point. He gets
R.I.P.
fucking his neck slit by fucking Voldemort, and then
and then he gets fucking eaten by Nagini.
Yeah. And then Harry takes his tears so he can find out the true meaning of what Snape wanted to do or whatever. But before that, we find out Fred dies.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Fred's dead.
On their way to the
Fred's dead. Rip.
Fred's
not only did Fred die at this point, they don't really mention it, but we see Lupin and Tonks hand in hand together. They died, leaving behind their child Teddy.
Yep.
Teddy was born at this point, and now Teddy is an orphan.
Yep.
Sucks.
And additionally, we saw Lavender Brown is dead.
Right. I thought
Ron's
that was
ex-girlfriend.
That was pretty tragic.
Who's this?
And
a death. My one. You know, the annoying girl in Half-Blood Prince. Who was like dating Ron. She's dead. Getting eaten by Fenrir
died.
Greyback.
Yep, she was eaten by a werewolf. And death that is not in the movie, but is in the book, that I think is very sad, is Colin Creevey. Colin Creevey is the photographer boy introduced in Chamber of Secrets.
Yep.
This damn son is going crazy. And so, Colin Creevey dies, and he was not supposed to be at the Battle of Hogwarts. It was explicitly stated that only seventh years, seniors, were allowed to stay because they were all of legal age. They were 17. Colin, however, being the courageous little Gryffindor boy, snuck back in after they were escorted out of the school and fought, and unfortunately lost his life fighting for his biggest idol, Harry Potter.
I mean, what a way to go out, though, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
He's a true hero.
All right. To the Snape backstory. All right.
Which, this is his Darth Vader moment. And if anyone who knows my defense of Darth Vader, I don't think he's a good man, but I think he did one good act towards the end of his life. That, okay. So, go ahead.
So, it starts off with him and Lily knowing each other as kids. And, you know, the start of a love interest. Then James gets in the way, and then yada, yada,
James,
yada.
what the hell?
I'm sorry.
And then it's explained that Harry is a Horcrux from Dumbledore.
Right.
Because it ricocheted off Lily when the spell was cast from Voldemort to Lily. And Dumbledore's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm going to harvest this kid when he's ready.
He's a pig for slaughter. And I think that's it for that. That's all that was really talked about in that backstory moment. But it's stuff you wanted to go into.
Again, going into the whole like Lupin's kind of a coward thing, Sirius is kind of like not a good father figure. Dumbledore is also sort of a bad person, but he's thinking of it's the train problem, the trolley problem, where you have the greater good or one person. He wants to sacrifice the one person to help the greater good.
Yes.
And so you can look down on him as like that's how like kind of like Captain America, the opposite of Captain America. He's like, we don't trade lives, you know. Like that Dumbledore's like, yeah, we kind of do. So I like how everyone's kind of the gray, morally compromised in some way, and it's just great character depth and development and stuff. It's very realistic. Also, they should have cast another actor to play Snape in the flashback scene because I thought it took place like a year before this movie.
Yeah.
And like it's supposed to be like what, 20 years, 30 years ago?
If it's like him as a child, it'd be about 20 years ago.
Yeah, so they should have, like, if Adam Driver was a thing back then, he definitely should have been in that flashback scene.
Yeah.
So,
well, hindsight is 2020.
Yeah. Don't mention that year to me.
Is there anything you want to talk about with that scene, James?
Not particularly. I think it was handled fine, I guess, in the movie.
Harry has her eyes.
Even though he
although
doesn't,
he doesn't. Yeah, in the books, it's a big plot point that Harry has green eyes just like his mother.
Blue eyes, and they have that on the posters.
It's blue eyes in the movies. In the books, it's green eyes.
Yeah, but they have
they just changed it because Daniel has blue eyes.
Yeah,
but it's like they amplify it on like all the posters and stuff. It's like, oh, it's blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
So before Harry goes to the Forbidden Forest, he meets up with Hermione and Ron on like the steps or whatever. They're like, no, don't.
Oh, they just made out. They professed their love to each other. They made it official.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they would go make out and stuff, and then isn't Neville with?
He wants to be with Luna. He's like, I need to go tell Luna I love her.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he ends up marrying her.
They are not a couple in the books, by the way.
I don't know. I like that. I like it though.
Yeah, they're the two kind of outcasts. You know, that kind of
works. Yeah.
Yeah. He in the books marries Hannah Abbott, who is another student that I don't think is maybe mentioned in the first. Oh, she is mentioned in the first movie because she's the first one to get sorted by the Sorting Hat. Is Hannah Abbott.
Got it.
But yeah, she that's who he marries in the books.
Okay. Well, now to the Forbidden Forest. Harry opens the snitch finally to find the Resurrection Stone that Dumbledore left for him. And yeah, he has this moment with the his parents and the dead members of the Order of the Phoenix. And
Faster than falling asleep.
yeah, Fast and Falling Asleep. You get to see Sirius, get Gary Oldman. Yes.
Yep. I love his portrayal of Sirius. It's great.
Yeah.
He's really a great actor.
Did they keep the same actors as his parents the whole way through? Because I don't remember if they do or not.
Yes,
They
I
do?
believe they are the same throughout all of them. Yeah.
Okay, just making sure because it doesn't look like it at some points, but then it does. I'm just like, wait, what's
I
going
reckon
on?
James, the guy who plays James, looks.
He looks the same through.
Yeah.
But
Lily looks a little.
Lily-
Lily might not be. I don't fully remember, but the
Yeah.
guy that plays James, I'm pretty sure is the same.
okay, cool.
So basically, in what James was saying in the first episode, there was a prophecy or something with the centaurs. They said that like, are they minotaurs? What are they?
Centaurs.
Centaurs. They prophesized Harry would die in the Forbidden Forest, which he does at this moment, not earlier.
Yeah.
So to Voldemort, which I thought, and then we get kind of like sort of like a big. I feel like this was thrown in there to just be like the big talking point, like Harry dies in the book. Oh my god! So you think that like what happens in the second half, So,
okay.
that's where we find out that Voldemort kills his Horcrux, Harry's Horcrux.
Yep. So Harry dies. Hagrid has to watch, which is fucking depressing if you have to think about it.
He's like, I'll watch that boy grow up.
Yeah. Oh god, that was horrifying.
Even more depressing is when you realize that when Hedwig dies, Hagrid's the one that bought Hedwig for Harry.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, Hagrid is a fucking tragic character.
Yes, he is.
He goes through a lot of shit.
And then we get gross ass Voldemort. So now Harry is like in this purgatory type situation, talking to Dumbledore. It's kind of like a
Oh, it's literally King's Cross Station.
yeah. It's
But
weird.
like,
I don't think Dumbledore sees it that way. I think it's only Harry that sees it that way. So
oh, okay. Like the first moment that he like really realized stepped into this magical world.
like because Harry Dumbledore's like, where do you think we are? And Harry says King's Cross Station. I was like, does he not think we're there? Like I guess I don't think Dumbledore can see where they are. He just sees Harry or something.
I think Dumbledore's dead.
Well, no shit, Sherlock.
No, really?
But that doesn't make it any less real.
It's kind of just. It reminds me of like the Soul Stone scene. From
Oh,
Infinity
yeah, it
War.
is like-
it's
yeah.
very
Yeah.
much like that. So, goddamn, Marvel's taking a lot from Harry Potter right
Yeah. What the hell? No, I get it though.
now. Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
Now, I
will-
forget, did the movie discuss why Harry survives here?
The resurrection.
Like how he survives? He
I
does
thought
not
it was the
survive
resurrection
because of the resurrection stone.
He doesn't.
Oh, because I
No.
would have thought
Me too.
you get resurrected by the
Yeah.
resurrection stone.
Yeah.
No, because that doesn't like bring you back normally. It brings you back as like a zombie,
Okay, so
the resurrection stone, or ghost, like we saw.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's explained in this scene by Dumbledore as to how Harry can go back. It's because in Goblet of Fire, when Voldemort is brought back to life, he uses the blood of the enemy, aka Harry's blood, to bring him back. Harry's blood is what had Lily's protection charm inside of it, that so long as he was protected by her love because of her sacrifice, he would live on. And that blood is in Voldemort's veins as well. So because he took Harry's blood, it allowed Harry to survive because his blood, the protection charm, was still living on in Voldemort.
I hate that, but okay. I guess
That
it does make
makes-
sense, but I hate it.
That makes less sense than the resurrection stone if they just. And then also now it opens up a question of when Harry finally beats Voldemort, why doesn't Harry die?
Because he's back now.
So like it's like
That's when
only
he
like a
lost the charm. He lost that protection charm in this moment.
Okay.
Like when he
Whatever.
came back to life. That's when it wore off. Because, you got your one chance at death, no more mistakes,
Yeah, it's like okay, safety net kind of thing.
I wish that was explained better.
I just like the resurrection stone. It's simpler, it's better,
Yeah, I
whatever.
think-
Whatever. That's how it is. So
I feel like that's what they were going with in the movie. Maybe not in the book, but that's what they were going with in the movie.
Yeah.
So,
shut up, son.
surreal. My God.
anyway, so I have a question. So Snape and Lily had the same Patronus. The deer,
Yes.
the doe.
Doe.
What does that fucking mean? What? So
Does that mean like they're supposed to be soulmates or some shit like that?
yeah, because like it's.
No.
Does that mean infidelity?
No, it is brought up in the books that a Patronus can change in somebody's life when they fall in love.
Oh.
And because Snape fell in love with Lily, his Patronus assumed her shape. We see this in the books because Nymphadora Tonks's Patronus changes, and we don't fully know why at the time, but it's revealed to be that she's fallen in love with Lupin. And so her Patronus has changed to reflect Lupin's, which I don't even remember what it is at this point.
Whatever.
But it's because he was in love with Lily that it reflects her Patronus.
All right, so back to Harry being on the ground. Voldemort is like, is he dead? So Narcissa goes to check on him. She realizes he isn't dead, and she's like, fuck it. He's dead. Now it's the morning. Neville's out front. He sees everybody walk in. Voldemort, Hagrid, all the fucking
this is
followers of
definitely
Voldemort.
like the low moment.
Voldemort's like, come to this side. Draco. And then
he hugs him.
Draco, get your ass over here.
He hugs him really weird.
Like, Drake, I wrote that on like, Draco's getting awkwardly hugged by Voldemort. What the fuck is this? It looks so weird.
He's getting diddled by his uncle.
Then what's the face? Neville has that monologue that you were talking about earlier, James. So
Yes.
So go.
Yeah, in the movies, I mean, he has his moment in the movies, but he's, as quite often the case in the movies, treated as a joke. The Death Eaters are laughing at him and what he has to say. In the book, however, Voldemort is like when Neville first starts speaking out, Voldemort's like, "Oh, you got good wizard blood in you or some shit." I don't know. He's like, "You should join the Death Eaters," and Neville's like, "Yeah, I'll join the Death Eaters when hell freezes over," or some shit like that. Some badass like mic drop situation. Yeah, he stands up to Voldemort and like confronts him. Obviously they don't fight, but like he gets into a verbal altercation with him like head on, no fear. This is the courageous Gryffindor we've all been told he would be.
Yeah, it's his big.
And this is him living. This is his moment. Yeah.
Do we want to talk about how Neville could have been the chosen one? Like that's like the prophecy is that like he could.
Yeah.
Like, his and Harry's stories match up pretty closely to the prophecy, I guess, to where like both the parents are tortured or whatever and killed. Well, they're not killed, but is that the reason why he's not the chosen one? Because they're not killed?
Voldemort sealed his own fate. It was left ambiguous. In fact, it's mentioned in the books. Like it's not like a fan theory. Like it's flat out stated in the books by Albus Dumbledore. Neville could have been the chosen one, but because Voldemort chose to go after the Potters personally, that's what caused the prophecy to be sealed in that regard. Because prophecy itself, I don't remember the exact wording, but it mentions how a boy born at the end of July, whatever, and that's the same time Neville was born. But because Voldemort went after the Potters, it sealed Potter as the other person. But yeah, Albus says straight up it could have been Neville.
Interesting. And like, it's really interesting to see what Harry could have been, because at the end of the day, either way, Harry would be standing up to Voldemort, you know, which is, I think that's kind of poetic. So
yeah, no, it definitely is. So Harry he's in Hagrid's arms, and now he kind of just like rolls out and is like, nope, I'm out. Starts running away, and Voldemort's like, what the fuck?
It's like, my plan has been foiled. And then we get an awesome just like final battle scene, which a lot of shit happens. Everyone's fighting.
Yeah,
I fucking hate this scene.
The Malfoys scurry out like the little chickens they are.
Which I thought is just
also poetic.
Exactly what they would do.
Yeah. So we get.
I hate this scene, by the way.
Which one?
The whole final fight between Harry and Voldemort.
I know why.
Like the flying scene.
Oh,
that's not at all in the books.
No. I kind of like
they
that.
they circle around each other in that like courtyard area with everyone watching them, and like then they do their priori incantatum, which is when the wands collide. None of that flying bullshit happens.
I think you need to have. I like it being like a private battle. And so you need to get them away so everyone else kind of fights and does their own thing on the other side of the castle, and then they come back to the courtyard, and then they have that one-on-one. I like that better, but
battles aren't very organized. You two, I hope you know that.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But we get a lot of kind of climactic battles. We get Mrs. Molly Weasley versus Bellatrix. She's like, "Get away from my daughter, you bitch!" And then fucking turns her to stone, which is like she's kind of like
her
Cleopatra.
Best Sigourney Weaver moment.
Yeah. But I like that. Although at the same time, I do think it should have been Neville's chance to kill her instead of Nagini.
It should have been.
I think there's more history there than Molly killing her.
But still,
yeah.
But Neville being, I don't know, him cutting the head off of Nagini
it is
pretty great.
I think they picked one of the better ones that he could have been involved in. But
then so Voldemort at that point loses and he gets dusted before it was cool. Another thing Marvel stole from Harry Potter.
Right, but at the same time,
and also fuck that so much.
I know. I was just going to say that.
The worst fucking part of the movies because it misses the entire point of his death. He, in the books, falls to the ground, splayed out like any other person would die. The whole point of this story is that he did not escape death. He did not do anything. He died a normal person just like everyone else. The thing he spent all this time and effort and blood and sweat and tears to accomplish, to cheat death, no, he died like any other fucking schmuck. But no, in the goddamn movies, they had to give him some poetic dusting away for some reason and disappears, also making it so the Ministry can deny anything because there's no body to fucking discover. I hate the way that the movies dusted him like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I can't tell.
I would have never guessed.
But no, it is kind of bullshit. I get what you're saying.
It makes a lot of sense. I never looked at it that way. Like the theme, but that's like the whole reason.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And then the epilogue is only inaccurate because Ron should be balding. He should be. What?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He's a ginger. They should be balding most of the time.
No, Chris.
He already knows. But yeah, so that's the end of kind of the cycle just starts again with Albus Severus Dumbledore Potter.
Albus Severus Potter.
Yeah. So
which a lot of contention between him naming him Severus because a lot of the fans do not. I think James, you're in this camp. You don't think Snape is that redeemable.
Not that redeemable, not at all, especially by Harry, someone who he set out to make his life as difficult as possible. No, he should not have had.
Should have been Albus Sirius Potter or something like that, probably.
Or Albus Hagrid Potter.
Yeah, Hagrid needs more love. Yeah,
Hagrid needs a lot of love.
Hagrid was the first person to take him into the Wizarding World. Mm-hmm. First person to show him what this world is about, always there for him, a loyal friend, someone that actually treated him as a respectable person and not like a bore. Hagrid deserved a lot more love.
Yeah.
And I think he should have been the namesake of Harry's kid well before Severus.
Well, he had, how many kids did he have? He had like three?
He had 2 boys. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think the girl should have been named Minerva or something.
It was named Lily, which makes sense.
Lily's okay. Lily Minerva Potter. I think that would have been good.
I forget the middle name. I also forget their oldest name. It was James something.
Yeah. James Sirius or something, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it was Sirius. Let me pull it
Sirius James.
Serious James.
He was a serious James.
It's just like a picture, like a cutout of James's face, and just like, yeah. But I always get like in trouble with Sep whenever I say Snape is one of my favorite characters in Harry Potter. I'm not saying he's redeemable, I'm just saying he's one of my favorites because he's so morally gray. You can end up on either side with him.
And he's also kind of another tragic character, though. So I mean, like,
he's like the like poetic version of an incel, you know. And I do think that's kind of great, you know.
Fair point.
But anyway, so that's the Harry Potter series.
We're done.
Yeah, that's the entire. You know, we didn't grade the part 1, so I give that one like I think like an 80. Oh God, sweet Jesus!
The first one I give.
You know what? 75. I'm gonna give 75 for part 1. It's not really my favorite. It's like, you know.
I was gonna say an 80.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's good. It's got a lot of setup, and yeah, they're kind of just camping for a while, but like it's got its moments, and the moments it does have are well done.
I liked part 1. I think I give it like an 80, 86.
86.
86. Okay.
Okay.
I liked it.
All right.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Part 2. It's my second favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I think I gave Half-Blood Prince 100, right? So I'm gonna give this one a 95. I love part 2 so much. It's probably my most rewatched. So
see, I forget what ratings I gave all of these on this podcast. So
me too.
I redid my whole thing.
I got it.
And so this one is definitely one of my favorites. This one gets a 91 for me.
91.
91.
Ooh.
Part 2 is really good in most spots. But it has a lot of good reveals. It has a lot of really good battles. And a really gross Voldemort. So
Really gross.
all right, James.
I like this one a lot as well. It is also my second favorite of the series, despite
I never said second
some
favorite.
of the egregious pre-epilogue endings. Also, I know you didn't, but Danny did.
I forgot he did. Okay.
God. So yeah, I think I give this one a 90, straight up 90.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to go to rankings?
Yeah.
All right, it's time to do our rankings of the entire Harry Potter franchise minus Fantastic Beasts.
Oh God.
They
Yeah.
don't exist. I don't like
exist.
those movies in any way.
Let's
I will
have-
never rewatch them.
Let's have our guests start. James, give us 8 through 1.
8 through 1. Why wouldn't you say 1 through 8?
Starting from
Start
8.
at the lows,
Yeah.
or lowest to, worst to best.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. My least favorite, Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
That is the lowest. Then Sorcerer's Stone, number 1, is next.
Wait, what?
After that, what?
The first movie.
Oh.
movie,
I thought you
Sorcerer's
said
Stone.
number 1. I was like, wait, what?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Movie number 1.
I got you.
Next, Order of the Phoenix, movie number 5. Then Chamber of Secrets, movie number 2.
What?
What?
Sorry, my list is just completely different from yours.
Okay.
So it's mine.
All right. Then we go. Oh wait. Then we go number 7, Deathly Hallows Part 1. Then Prisoner of Azkaban, movie number 3. Then Deathly Hallows Part 2 as my second to top, and then my favorite, Half-Blood Prince, number 6.
Interesting.
It's a very interesting list.
At least the first
Shit.
half is very interesting, according to me.
All right. I'll go with mine next. My number 8 also starts with Goblet of Fire. Least favorite. Then we go Chamber of Secrets. Then we go Half-Blood Prince.
Oof.
Yeah. Then we go Deathly Hallows Part 1. Prisoner of Azkaban.
Really. Oh my God.
Deathly Hallows Part 2. Order of the Phoenix.
Whoa. Okay.
Sorcerer's Stone. Okay. So
All right. Whatever.
we'll explain all our
I'll
picks
give it-
later.
all right.
But yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'll just go through it real quick. Chamber of Secrets, dog shit, hate it. Deathly Hallows Part 1, less dog shit. Goblet of Fire, I appreciated it more this time around. Sorcerer's Stone, just because I've seen it so many times and I know what's going to happen. It's like, all right. Order of the Phoenix, because I was so hyped for that movie when it first came out. Like, You don't understand how hyped I was. Prisoner of Azkaban, because I've grown to appreciate it over time. Deathly Hallows Part 2, because it's the most action-packed, probably best story that's being told. And then my favorite, Half-Blood Prince, because I gave that one literally 100. So, yeah.
All right, so let's explain our weird ones we got here.
Our top our top 3 are the same.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you got some good picks.
I think going into the first episode, Azkaban was my favorite one because I had seen it on most and I loved that movie.
Yeah.
It did not sit with me this time around. I don't know why. It just didn't sit with me. So I had to push it down to number 4. Order of the Phoenix really fucking stuck out to me. I loved that one. I don't know why. I just loved the way that one was done for some reason. I don't know why.
It was really good. I mean, yeah.
You say that as it being like
It's my 4th, I think, right?
I don't remember.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay.
I wrote them all down.
Half-Blood Prince did not do it for me. I know you guys have that in like your number 1 and number 2, and it's like, or number 1 each.
It's so much.
It's number 1 each, yeah.
It was too slow for me.
I think it's just because it starts off in such a happy place and then gets to such a dark place by the end, and it's so seamless. That's why I love it the most.
I don't know.
And I like it because it's all the setup for the final 2 movies. This is, putting the final cogs in place. Obviously, there's still a little more work done in the final 2, but this is really where we set up where it's all going and ending.
Goblet of Fire at least was all dog shit. So except for you,
I appreciate it more this time around just because that second or that last half hour is really good.
See,
Some of the best Harry Potter I think I've ever seen though.
Okay, I wouldn't put Goblet of Fire as dog shit. Like it is the least favorite of mine, but like it wasn't dog shit. It's probably still like a 75. Like it's I don't know.
I know what you mean. Chamber of Secrets is the worst one, and you cannot argue with me.
Yeah, it's my second least favorite. So
I've seen it so many times because it's the one movie that they had access to on Disney Channel. That's how bad it is. When it came out in 2004, they had it on Disney Channel in 2005, and none of the other ones. Whew. So that's saying a lot. So I don't like that movie.
All right, so. I think that's about it.
That's wrapping up on our Harry Potter series.
If you like this video, like and subscribe for more content. Make sure you give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok with the Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, no, you got it right.
I did get it right. Instagram and TikTok with the handle @SeenItBeforecast. That's SCENE it Beforecast, and on Twitter with the handle SIB_pod. I'm Dan.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram at Danny_Was, my letterboxd at DJ Was, or my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was. And I haven't posted on that channel in like almost a year now.
That's okay. I don't post on Twitter.
I should probably stop advertising it. But I get some views here and there, but whatever. Yeah. And James, you want to plug anything?
Hi, yeah, I'm James. Thank you so much for having me on this long journey in the Harry Potter world. I loved going into it with you. You can find me on Letterboxd at James81XA. And I just like to say, I want you to make sure that you stupefy the like button if there is on whatever platform you're watching, or, the subscribe button, so that way you can Accio new videos right to your feed. And I'm trying to think of some other puns, but they're just not coming to me.
I can't believe you did that. I just looked at Dan and was like, oh my God, he had this all planned.
I had it planned as of about a minute ago.
Well, James, we appreciate having you. We always appreciate having you on the podcast. Until next time, why are you so dark? Oh my God.
The sun!
The sun went away.
The sun does not. I need Lumos up in here. Come on.
Sun's getting real low, everyone. So it's
not even the right franchise. Doesn't even go here.
Hey, they stole a lot from Harry Potter. Yeah, anyway, so it's been an honor as usual, and we'll see you next time.